First-person shooters are pushing visual fidelity and immersion further, with new projects showcasing highly detailed environments, advanced lighting, and more dynamic combat systems. From stylized worlds to realistic battlefields, upcoming titles are aiming to raise the bar for how FPS games look and feel. Let's get into it. Pax Autocratica combines colony simulation with first-person roguelike combat, where the player builds and manages a controlled society by setting laws that affect fear, happiness, hunger, and loyalty, while expanding a base with automated production, research, and infrastructure. Alongside this, the player leads squads in FPS battles across skirmishes and large conflicts using infantry, tanks, and mechs, collecting resources, recruiting citizens, and choosing upgrades during each run that impact combat and long-term progression.
Leader wants us to do what today? That's insane! Inspired! Truly inspired!
Wardogs is a large-scale multiplayer FPS where 100 players are split into 3 teams competing to control a shifting zone within a massive map, earning points by holding the objective while using weapons, vehicles, and support roles. Players buy loadouts each life using cash earned from combat and teamwork actions, with destructible environments, base building, logistic systems, and persistent currency shaping how matches play out and how players approach each role.
Now. Another one. Oh, get out! Let's go! That was sick. Try and hit them in front. Go down, go down, go down!
In the house of the rising sun, in the house of the rising sun.
Road to Vostok is a single-player survival FPS where the player manages resources, loots items using physics-based systems, and prepares equipment while moving between maps toward a high-risk border area, with trading based on bartering, shelter customization for storage and saving, and tasks from traders. Combat involves hostile factions, while dynamic weather, day-night cycles, and seasonal changes affect survival. And entering the Vostok zone introduces full permadeath, where all progress can be lost.
Ei muuta kuin vaihdit alas ja kohti rajaa. arvovalinnan.
No niin! Valmiina pojat!
Rotalle vähän lyijyä, perkele!
Nyt sä poika kärsit!
Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core is a co-op FPS roguelite where up to 4 players enter procedurally generated caves with basic gear and build their loadouts during each run by collecting weapons, upgrades, and resources. While fighting alien enemies and increasing mission difficulty over time, Teamwork supports combined builds and progression carries between runs, allowing players to improve characters, unlock new options, and adapt strategies based on changing cave layouts and encounters.
Flashbangs.
Rogue Point is a co-op FPS, where up to 4 players complete missions with changing objectives across different locations, using teamwork to gather intel, fight enemy squads, and handle varied threats like snipers, heavies, and melee units. Players start with basic gear and earn money to buy weapons, attachments, and equipment, while map layouts shift between runs, and progression systems unlock skills and customization options that affect how each squad approaches combat and mission strategy.
I hit right in front of him. Let's go, boys.
Mr. Equipment over here.
Oh my god, it's going to shit. Red one. Oh my goodness.
Broke down.
Let's get out of here.
The newest co-op zombie shooter launching March 12, 2026.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is a co-op action shooter where up to 4 players select characters and work together to survive waves of enemies using guns, grenades, and special abilities, while reviving teammates and sharing resources during combat. Missions take place across semi-open areas with drivable vehicles that offer different functions, and gameplay focuses on handling large enemy swarms, coordinating roles, and using equipment and positioning to manage constant pressure from incoming threats.
Walter, Kato, Ruby, and Astrid. A bunch of criminals hired to clean up this mess, and maybe save humanity while they're at it. You'll blast through multiple missions, each in a semi-open world packed with zombie heads to blow off. Get ready to face hordes of those sludge bastards.
Fuck off over there!
Saber Interactive Swarm technology throws hundreds upon hundreds of real enemies at you simultaneously. We're talking endless waves of zombies running straight at your face. Adapt fast, work with your team, or just grab a machete and charge into the horde like the maniac you are. In Toxic Commando, every mission starts with a badass vehicle, and you'll need it to navigate these infected hellscapes. Each has its perks. Stuck in blood and guts-filled mud with more zombies closing in? Jack a ride with a winch to pull yourselves free, and crack open locked containers loaded with ammo, weapons, spare parts, and fuel. Teams bleeding out? An ambulance is your savior and heals everyone. Check your map for available rides and switch whenever you find something better. We've got all the toys you'll need to blast these monsters back to hell. Pick your primary from 16 weapon types. Shotguns, SMGs, sniper rifles, you name it.
Reloading!
Secondary weapons like pistols back you up when you're running dry. When you're looking for brutal, bloody takedowns, melee weapons are your friends. Machetes, crowbars, all kinds of good shit.
Now this is action!
The really devastating gear like heavy machine guns and grenade launchers are hidden in missions. Explore and exchange spare parts to unlock them.
Finders, takers.
That's what we need.
Choose a kick-ass ability for even more blood and explosions. Dominate in your own style by choosing among 4 unique classes. Strike for aggressive mayhem. Medic to keep everyone breathing. Operator for drone warfare and tech.
Getting my drone loose.
Or Defender to be an unstoppable wall.
Fence is activated.
Stack your squad however you want. Run 4 strikes if that's your vibe. This game is built from the ground up for 4-player chaos. Use matchmaking or grab your friends in a private lobby. With crossplay, anyone can join from any platform. One last piece of advice, if you want to play Lone Wolf, you'll get swarmed fast. So rally your team, gear the hell up, and get ready for non-stop co-op zombie destruction.
Decadent is a first-person shooter where the player controls John Lorne, using firearms, occult weapons, and artifacts to fight enemies while managing a sanity system that can trigger hallucinations or panic effects, with progression tied to items that modify abilities and unlock new areas. DEFECT is a cyberpunk FPS with tactical SWAT-style gameplay where the player chooses between factions such as law enforcement units or gangs, completing objectives like arrests, assassinations, and smuggling across single-player, co-op, and PvP modes. Matches include multi-objective scenarios that can change during play, with squads using advanced weapons, gadgets, and shared preparation areas to plan loadouts. Witchfire is a first-person RPG shooter, where the player takes on missions to fight enemies, collect resources, and upgrade weapons, spells, and abilities, with a system that allows extraction of loot or risking further combat for greater rewards. Progression includes building loadouts using firearms and magic, recovering lost items after death, and improving character strength through a roguelite system, while different regions, enemies, and encounters require careful planning and combat decisions.
Old rights of close combat restored. He descends into forbidden vaults, where relics and condemned truths were sealed in ages past. But the witchfire he steals scars the world itself. Corruption rises, chaos born of his taking, not her command. And from the wounded earth, abominations awaken. The torments endure as well. The cursed scripture of a painter led into blasphemous madness. His work, a spell disguised as devotion. When pressed, the prayer withdraws to holy ground, only to summon the fallen, that their echoes may serve once more.
Marathon is a PvPvE extraction FPS, where the player enters, runs as a runner, collecting loot, fighting AI enemies and other players, and managing limited supplies before exiting to secure progress. Loadouts are built using weapons, implants, and upgrades found during missions, while faction contracts provide long-term progression, and different runner types, team setups, and dynamic encounters affect how players handle combat, survival, and objectives across each run.
death we've just begun.
Exekiller is a first-person action-adventure shooter where the player takes on bounty contracts, uses weapons, gadgets, and vehicles, and makes choices during missions that affect dialogue, faction reactions, and outcomes with a progression system based on mods, augments, and equipment instead of levels. Gameplay includes traveling between locations from a central hub, handling combat or stealth approaches, and managing environmental threats while completing objectives across a semi-open structure.
An Exekiller, a corporate bounty hunter.
Exekillers hunt down fugitives and reclaim souls from those who try to escape the system.
One of the game's main hubs is the Tower, a massive fortress city ruled by the Helion Corporation. This is where you accept contracts, upgrade your gear, and prepare for missions.
Job well done, contract fulfilled.
The game is structured in chapters, and almost everyone begins and ends in the Tower.
Outside the tower lies a harsh, scorched desert. You travel through it in a heavily modified car designed to protect you from extreme conditions such as heat and radiation. Inside the vehicle, you have access to your computer, storage, and a working radio.
From your
Survival is a core part of the experience.
Inventory space is limited, and every item matters, forcing players to make careful decisions about what to carry and what to leave behind.
Helion's high-tech systems allow you to hack devices, pick locks, and access restricted areas.
Your cybernetic implants help you uncover hidden elements and investigate the environment. Missions and level design are fully non-linear. There's no single way to complete a contract. Stealth, dialogue, and combat are all valid approaches and can be freely combined.
In Exekiller, every decision matters.
What's it gonna be? Plata or muerte?
Hell Let Loose Vietnam is a large-scale multiplayer FPS where two teams of 50 players take on roles such as infantry, recon, armor, or command, using communication and coordination to capture sectors and complete objectives across different game modes. Players use historically based weapons, vehicles like helicopters and patrol boats, and mechanics such as tunnel building, while movement, squad roles, and chain of command systems shape how battles are organized and executed.
Port Desire, a city that don't belong to anyone, but
No Law is a first-person action RPG where the player controls Grey Harker, using firearms, stealth, and sci-fi tools to complete missions across a dense city. With systems that allow different approaches, such as direct combat or tactical movement, choices made during encounters affect character interactions and outcomes. While progression includes upgrades and abilities that expand combat options, and vertical level design supports movement across rooftops, streets, and interiors.
My hands in dirt instead of blood. But desire is a fickle mistress. The city won't let me go. It won't forget my name. I asked for nothing, and they still came and took everything. The mayors and anyone that stands in my way, every last one of them. They're gonna learn something real simple.
Valor Mortis is a first-person action Souls-like where the player controls a revived soldier using melee combat systems such as parries, dodges, and timed attacks while managing supernatural abilities that enhance damage and mobility. Progression comes through repeated deaths that improve skills and unlock powers, while different weapons and enemy types require precise timing and movement mechanics support navigating combat spaces and avoiding attacks during encounters.
This isn't war. This is damnation.
That was their first mistake.
Better Than Dead is a first-person shooter where the player uses a body cam perspective to record combat while moving through linear levels, engaging enemies with fast-paced gunplay that rewards accuracy and quick reactions. Each mission involves eliminating targets and rescuing captives, with environments designed for close-quarters encounters and gameplay built around immediate combat feedback, limited margin for error, and continuous forward movement through tightly structured areas.
She erased them. They'll hear her coming, but it won't matter. One girl, one gun, one recording. She remembers every face, every scream, every laugh. She's not here to survive. She's here to finish it.
Gears of War E-Day is a third-person shooter where the player controls Marcus Phoenix during large-scale combat against enemy forces using cover-based mechanics, firearms, and close-range weapons to survive encounters, with missions that involve coordinated movement, positioning, and cooperation in solo or co-op play. Combat systems emphasize tactical use of cover, timing attacks, and managing threats in intense battles while progressing through a story-driven campaign focused on survival. Halo Campaign Evolved is a first-person shooter where the player controls Master Chief through a rebuilt campaign, using an expanded set of weapons and vehicles while fighting enemy forces across multiple missions, with refined controls supporting movement, aiming, and combat. Gameplay includes solo or up to 4-player co-op, additional missions, and optional modifiers that change enemy behavior, weapons, and conditions, allowing different approaches to encounters and varied replay across the campaign.
Chief, you gotta find the cartographer. We'll keep him busy as long as we can.
Fire Team Charlie, we're on our way.
Touchdown! Hit it, Marines! Somebody go to a Warthog!
The Covenant are putting up a real fight. The cartographer must be here.
Lock and load, rock and roll!
Give them hell, Chief.